This is a public service. Hey. Ike Freeman having intoxicating liquor in his possession. Wow. $100 fine and 60 days in jail. It's a lot of money back then. It was five ounces of gold. It's a tremendous amount of money. Oh, this is interesting. Possession of liquor, $50 bond, extradited. Possession of liquor, $200 fine or 60 days in jail. Wow. Gambling. Using profane language. $15 fine or 15 days in jail. So you gotta wonder, were things better or worse then or now, you know? Possessing liquor, half a case of scotch, half a case of gin, $200 bond, extradited. Wow. 1927. You know, I bemoan that it's a police state now, but I don't know that the argument would be invalidated to say it was worse then. Seems like a lot of charges are for using profane language and having liquor. Speeding.
So I need to go.
It's not extradited, it's escheated. How much caution? I'm assuming extreme caution. Is anybody in this office? Looks like some serious voltage going on there. Is that something to worry about?
No, they're just installing a new cable, I think.
I was reading the old books that you guys have right outside the elevator. From the one I was reading was 1927. What does escheated mean?
Escheated.
What does escheated mean?
Yeah, so there's different processes for that. It means that property that may have been private at one point gets turned over to the state or the city.
Right here.
So in certain instances, people who don't pay their taxes, and then the property gets turned back over. So it's a process for a transfer of property.
Okay. With due process or without due process?
Well, from 1927, I'm not going to say.
You don't know.
But certainly now it would likely occur with
Yeah, we
relevance
think
process.
that things are draconian now, but reading that book, it makes one bristle. For, somebody that respects the rule of law and liberty. So, what was your name?
My name's Adam Conley.
Ocean.
Hi, Ocean.
Are you?
I'm the acting city attorney right now.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming out and meeting one of the people.
Of course.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. You're probably a very busy man, but I saw that in the book. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So like the city has recently gotten property from the county. So there's I don't remember the number of the statute. There's a process where if the county gets certain property by tax certificate, or sometimes what happens when properties go through the tax deed process and don't get sold, they get turned over to the county. But if they're within a municipality, the statute says the county can turn them over to the city. So those properties get escheated to us.
Okay.
And then in certain instances we said, well, we don't need it either. Let's offer it to, adjoining property owners or others who may be able to do affordable housing or otherwise develop the property. So we've probably had 5 or 6 of those in the last 3 or 4 years.
Right, and you just turn them over at no cost?
No, some we sold.
Arrearage.
Right, we negotiated those, but others were truly donations. I want to say that happened in 2018, 2019, but if you looked up Escheated in our civic clerk system, you'd probably see those agenda items that where there was property that was escheated to the city from the county.
All right.
And then
I'm going to make that request. Yeah, it's interesting.
Clerk's office is across the hall.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Of course.
Thank you again.
Have a good day.
You too. Hey. Yeah, I wanted to make a public records request.
Sure. What would you like?
I would like to know, or maybe a list of all properties that were escheated in 2020, 2021, and 2022.
I'm sorry, they were what?
Escheated?
I don't even know what that is. Is that some sort of a planner term?
Yeah, I think it's legal. I think it's legal jargon. I actually mispronounced it, and Adam, the city attorney, he set me straight on the correct pronunciation.
I've never heard of that.
It's apparently it's property that's given over for one reason or another.
Escheatment. So.
And if there's a huge list, let's narrow it down to maybe 1 year just to avoid costs. But he didn't. He made it seem like there wasn't a lot of it going on in the city.
Know what? If it's between 2 different departments, send it to Kevin.
Let me do
Say,
this.
say we received a survey that are
And I can leave an email address
Yeah, 'cause
if you're in the
honestly,
middle of something.
I thought it was
I'm
just
not
you guys.
sure
But if it
you're
involves
talking about
the
for
departments,
any
it
purpose.
probably should come.
Well, how about
Property would be given to us, like if
Yeah.
someone passed away?
well,
Or you're talking about the other way around, like the
Send it to
city's
the city.
giving it to someone?
To the city clerk.
well, I guess that's a two-pronged process, right? Because it goes through the process to get into the city's hand, and then the city is doing it again. Did it look like there was a long list of those? Maybe let's.
I don't even know of any such list. That's why I'm
Okay,
trying to get an idea of what you're looking for, because we
Yeah,
might have it.
any and all.
All right, so you're looking for a list from what years?
How about we do? How about we just do 2020 and 2021?
2020 and 2021, and whether it's the city's receiving it or the city is letting it go.
Yeah. And then maybe if there's unresponsive records to those 2 years, maybe if we could just go back 2 more years. But if I'm doing this more as an exercise to understand what it is, rather than trying to take up your time giving me 4 years of data, you know what I mean?
Right. So you're looking just for the addresses of any of those properties?
Well, I'm not. That's and I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Megan.
That's a good question. I don't. I don't know how much information's going to be, how much information's going to come along with it. So if it is just addresses, sure, and then maybe I can look into things further on the clerk site. I assume the county clerk will have,
Right.
I know Volusia County is really, their clerk site's really good about property. I'm not sure if I'm not even sure.
Brevard?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't
if
even know
Brevard
if
is.
we have this, because this, specifically is the City of Melbourne, so I'll have to see what we can find. And you said you had an email address?
Yeah, letters
Letters
of Phocion, PHO
PHOCION
CION at Gmail.
at Gmail.
My name's Phocion.
Let me do this. While you're here, let me just ask the clerk if he's aware of any of
Yeah.
this, because I haven't been here.
Yeah, I mean, the attorney
decades
knew
either,
of
so-
something, but he didn't mention the years I mentioned. He mentioned prior years, but I don't want you guys to dig needlessly if there's, stuff readily available.
Okay,
available.
let me see what I can find out. Hold on one second.
Thank you, Megan. Sally, whose job's tougher, yours or Megan's? Well, I appreciate the friendly faces. It's nice to come into City Hall and be treated nicely. So.
Well, good. We try.
Yeah, well, that's all we can ask for. Do you know how long each person gets for public comment?
Under public comments is
Mhm.
3 minutes,
Humans?
but then under the actual agenda items, it's 5 minutes. So like the applicant or somebody presenting an item. So public comments is 3.
And then you can have a public comment on an agenda item?
Correct.
So an
Right, so
additional
when,
5 for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if
perfect.
you had just a public comment about something that was not on the agenda,
Mhm.
you'd have 3 minutes under item 7 to present that.
And then you
and
can
then-
use, so it's possible you could speak on each agenda item if you were that
Yep.
pompous.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You could speak 3 minutes for every single agenda item on there
Okay.
if you
All
wish.
right.
Applicants, like I said, they'll give them 5, and sometimes even the public council will allow them if they request additional time to speak. That's at their discretion.
Do you know if your meetings are well attended by the public?
I think they're pretty well attended. Obviously different subjects bring.
Mm-hmm. Do you attend ever?
I occasionally attend. Meighan attends every meeting along, so the assistant city clerk and city clerk attend every meeting.
Okay. So one's taking notes probably.
Right. They're both kind of, the city clerk mainly does the participation part of it. However, there are things that occasionally come up that the assistant city clerk is there to handle and assist.
Thank you.
That's why I pointed at her when you said which job is harder.
She's got to work nights too.
That's right. But she gets paid more money, so.
Yeah, well, sometimes money isn't everything,
Alrighty, had to make some phone calls. So, we don't have what would be considered just like a list. Like I can't hand you a piece of paper and say, these are the properties.
Okay.
But there are files, and apparently there's approximately 4 within the recent years. And
Okay.
so what we can do, haven't seen the files yet, they're not within this office. And we're also gonna reach out to another department that might have something that's more concise to provide to you. So what we can do is, we'll see what they are, see how large it is, and let you know if there is any sort of like cost estimate
Mhm.
that you can pay beforehand,
Mhm.
or something to that effect. Or are you looking for something just really basic?
Yeah, I am looking for something really basic because I can come in and
Like any
inspect
piece of
a
paper
record.
that might have,
Well, not any, because those books out there have it written all over them. So
Right.
I mean, that's what triggered my, I never had even heard the word before until I was reading it in those books. So, yeah, I mean, if you could just point me in the direction, and then I could probably come in and inspect a record. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
and let's find out, because if it's not, if it's not voluminous paperwork,
Yeah,
we could just give it to you.
yeah,
So we'll see what we can find, and I'll send you an email.
appreciate that.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Have a good one, Sally.
You too.
Thanks. We're out here today to ensure our constitutional rights are respected by those that swore an oath to support, protect, and defend the rights of the people. The purpose of all interactions is to peacefully promote government accountability and transparency. This is a public service.